Let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me...
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Vengeful Torture, you can call me VT, and today I wanted to do a little remote play test using The Division. I've got my Vita right here. I apologize for the shitty video that's on there. Don't worry, I'm not going to blow it up any larger than you see right now. I don't have the capability to record right from it like I do my 3DS. You know, I use remote play frequently when I travel, and so it's sort of an important feature to me. It's really, honestly, the only reason I'm keeping my Vita around, pretty much. And so, you know, I thought I'd take a look at it, see how the controls fare, and see how the latency takes in. Now, I do have to say right now, I'm using my PS4 and Vita on the same network. I do not have them directly connected, but regardless, they are still on the same network. So it's not exactly as good of a test as you would hope, but, you know, I'm only getting about 2.4 up and about 8 down on my Vita, which I'm paying a lot more for a lot more. It should be better than that, but that's fine. You know, it's a little more realistic test anyway. So let's dive right into it. We'll see how everything works. This is my first time trying to remote play The Division. I don't know how the controls are laid out or anything, and I do apologize again. You can see my Vita's shaking, moving around a lot right there. I'm going to try to minimize that as much as possible. You know, it's just not a great setup that I have for it, honestly. So we will do our best. Now, I anticipate that the always online capabilities is going to pose a little bit of an issue, but I was able to play Destiny no problem from away from home, and the controls on that game worked really well. So honestly, that's sort of the benchmark I'm looking for right now. Alright, here's our button guide. That's kind of nice. Looks like, obviously, they've mapped to the trigger, aim, and shoot, which is fantastic. Looks like... Sorry, you can't really read that. I know it's pretty blurry. I really do apologize. Looks like everything else seems to be pretty much the same as far as everything. The main things I have to move on to is buttons on the touchscreen for the extra shoulder buttons, right? So emotes map to the bottom left of the front screen. Map is the center of the touchscreen. Looks like we've got melee, the bottom right. Pretty standard, and then the skills are of course mapped to the back, so that makes sense. Everything else should fall pretty well in line with how you actually play, and that's pretty standard. Well, I say it's pretty standard, it's not. That's a pretty good layout. That's what I would expect is you know, the other shoulder buttons in the back, and you got your sticks in the front on the front touch screen there, so that's pretty good. Well, first off, just looking at it, the game looks really good, right? Oh, seeing some already stuttering right there. But I mean, it looks pretty solid on the Vita. It feels okay, just sort of wandering around a little bit. Wait, how do I sprint? Wait a minute. What is sprint? It's L3. Hold on, that's not going to work with the touchscreen. Wait, no, button guide. Sprint. Oh, down on the D-pad. I hate that. Because... look at this. I'm trying to sprint, and you gotta like tap it up like that, or you gotta do the frickin' claw. That's a mess. It's a mess. But that, you know, that's the same thing as it was in Destiny. So that's, what are you gonna expect, right? Okay, here we are. Fast traveling didn't take too long. Again, sprint. Dude, that messed up. Seen some stuttering here and there, but overall it's not too bad. Most of the odd way I'm moving right now is honestly just the analogs, because they feel so loose on the Vita compared to a DualShock 4.
I'm not one of them.
So definitely finagling in tight spaces is a little difficult. with the Vita sticks. And maybe that could be adjusted with some sensitivity settings in game. But you know, how much do you really want to change when you're doing remote play and stuff? At least if you're not doing it for long periods of time. Okay, come on, come on. Around the fence. There we go. Oh, come. Okay, here we go. Good lord. Come on. Oh, here's some guys.
Come on, no letting up.
So what's zoom? Ah, there we go. Alright, so now we're going to try just an easy mission to sort of see how the gunplay handles, so we'll get right in here. It'll be a lot less running.
We've got a lot of hostiles
hold
inside,
on.
Agent. They're
Hold
holding Dr.
on.
Candle and her staff. We need those
Yeah.
personnel back at
Not
the
making
base
that
so we
mistake
can get the
again.
medical wing functional.
Finish him off. Nice, easy mark. Check it out. Since when you my fucking... We own this. Hey, just taking care of business. That thing is dangerous. Still high. Give it up already.
If you patch me into the security system, I might be able to find Candle's location.
Alright, so already you can see that accuracy is definitely going out the window. Like, it is super difficult to pinpoint on a certain point with these analog sticks. They're just so loose, so different from, you know, anything else that it's making it very difficult to aim.
Patched in.
Not
Let's
impossible,
see what I can find.
but
Can you
difficult.
see the CCTV feed?
Hunt that fucker down.
Damn it.
You're dead. Just give it up. Don't waste
These little finite movements like that, pretty much impossible on the Vita.
Someone get cover me while I load up. Blast him out of there.
Additional hostiles detected.
Part of this is also because I am sitting a little skewed to my Vita.
Additional hostiles detected.
Which makes it definitely more difficult to play, sitting at an angle. But even still, it's a little challenging. Though I do like the controller layout. Being able to access your skills easily without having to move your thumbs is very, very nice.
Let's get
Okay,
this
oh, too far. Get back up there. Oh, we gotta go.
Warning. Additional hostiles detected.
One asshole too many. I feel sorry for this fool.
Warning. Additional hostiles incoming.
So overall, I'd have to say that using Remote Play to play The Division works really well. First and foremost, I was able to do what I set out to do. I was able to go in and play on my own a little bit. There was really no lag, hardly any frame rate drops. What you saw was the extent of the stuttering, and I was able to play with some groups online. I didn't experience any lag with them, and while my gameplay suffered a little bit, we still got through the mission. I do have to say that the controls are really well mapped, with the exception of the sprint button, but that seems to be the same case everywhere, sadly. I just wish that the sprint button was mapped to a different button that didn't require you to move your left thumb off of the analog stick even a little bit, because again, that messes up your entire grip. And when you're doing sprint pretty consistently, like you do in the games like The Division, it can really create some issues, especially moving from cover to cover and really just throwing off your whole balance of your grip. The graphics look great on there, on the Vita, obviously. I mean, there's really no surprise, honestly. You do have to suffer a little bit of the sound from there, because obviously you don't get the same quality sound coming straight out of the Vita, unless you, of course, have some nice headphones or headset to go with that. But I do recommend that if you are going to try and play any sort of shooter, you pick up the sort of back attachment here, the triggers on the Vita. They work really well. I'll take them out so you can see. I picked them right up at GameStop. I've used them for a long time, and I highly recommend it. They add a nice ergonomic grip. You can see that it creates these actual triggers for you to use, which for a shooter, I mean, there's no other option, honestly. Like if you use Remote Play a lot, or if you have a Vita and you don't have those triggers, I highly recommend it. They don't fit in most cases, obviously, so a little bit of annoying to carry around, but definitely helps. So honestly, this week I'm really looking forward to doing an actual test for Remote Play. I'll be out of town, and so I'll be bringing my Vita with me, and I was debating if I wanted to bring my PS4 with me as well, so I didn't miss out on those dailies. And it looks like, based off of what I found today, that I will be able to use Remote Play on my Vita pretty consistently and reliably, as long as there's decent internet. Again, I had about 8 down and 2.4 up on my network with my Vita. It's, my home network on my PS4 is a lot larger. It's about 30 down and like 12 up, so that might help a little bit with my settings. But who knows? It might actually work really well on a lower quality network. Other than that, let me know if you guys liked the video. Leave a comment down below, leave a like, and I will catch you guys next time.